So we do have a quorum. So we are going to officially start the meeting. I would like to open the meeting of the Revolving Loan Fund Committee, April 28th, 2021. And for those of you that may not have been on, unfortunately, Jonathan let us know just a little prior to the meeting that he had a work emergency, so he won't be joining us today. I am now going to read the opening statement. The regular meeting of the Revolving Loan Fund Committee of the Economic Development Authority and Industrial Development Authority. This regularly scheduled meeting of the Revolving Loan Fund Committee is being conducted telephonically or electronically in accordance with the budget bill of the Commonwealth of Virginia for the biennium ending June 30th, 2020, as adopted by the reconvened session of the 2020 Virginia General Assembly, because the Governor of the Commonwealth has issued Executive Order 51 declaring a state of emergency, which declaration continues in force and effect, and the nature of such emergency makes it impractical or unsafe for the Revolving Loan Fund Committee to assemble in a single location to discuss or transact business necessary to continue operations of the EDA-IDA and the discharge of its lawful purposes, duties, and responsibilities. More importantly, based on what we know now about the coronavirus pandemic and prudent precautions as a result thereof, it is being conducted in a way to provide the maximum amount of protection to our committee members, staff, and the public. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause, and thank you for your understanding and compliance during this time. I would like to remind everybody that this meeting is being recorded, so keep that in mind as we speak. Please speak clearly and slowly if you do have a question or comment. Thank you. If we could have the agenda up. Next on our agenda is introductions. If everyone could put themselves on mute until you're speaking, please, because we're getting some feedback. We do have two new members of the Revolving Loan Fund Committee. As most of you that have been on for a while know, that normally the first part of every year, we change members. However, we were a little later this year because of some other circumstances. So this would have been Jonathan's last meeting. He will rotate off of this committee, and we will be getting Alonzo Bell back on the committee, as well as we have two other brand new members to the EDA board that will be on this committee, Jamika Johnson and Kathy Williams. So I would like each of them to introduce themselves, starting with Jamika, and just tell where they work and just a very tad little bit about themselves. And then I would like to ask the other committee members to introduce themselves, just so they have a name and a face to put together. So Jamika, if you would start.
First of all, excuse me, this is Carol.
Yes.
Jameson, would you please show the faces, please, as opposed to the agenda so we can see one another?
Thank you, Carol.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. This is Jamika Johnson. I am the Director of Finance for PB Mayors. You all may have history with both Mary Aldridge and Alan Witt if you've been around long enough. I've had the pleasure of working closely with both of them in my role with PB Mayors. I'm a native of Hampton, so I've grown up in the area, and I have an undergraduate degree from the Virginia Commonwealth of University in accounting, have an MBA, and I'm also a CPA. So look forward to really just digging in, mounting this learning curve that both Kathy and I will have to climb, and getting to know you all as we get familiar with this specific committee. So looking forward to working with you all.
Thank you.
And good afternoon. I'm Kathy Williams. I'm the Business Diversity and Government Administration Manager at Ferguson. That role encounters me being responsible for our corporate-wide supplier diversity program and our small business program. And we've had the opportunity to work with Sharon and World Class on the e-business and punch out catalog. So I think Tricia and I talked about that. But very excited to be a part of this committee. Just a little bit more about myself. I'm a native of Newport News, born and raised, and relocated back to the area about 16 years ago. I currently reside in the Southeast community. And so I hope to bring experience and, some of the resources that I have in this work to the committee. So I look forward to working with everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. With that, I'm going to go. I know everyone's screen, the order is different, but on the screen I see Sharon, you're next. If you would just introduce yourself and tell who you're with.
Hi, my name is Sharon Owens Clark, and the name of my company is World Class Solutions.
Thank you. And then I see Susan next. You're on mute. Unmute.
How about that?
Yeah.
All right, Susan Harris here. I'm with Town Bank. I'm a native of Newport News also, and currently serving in the commercial division of Town Bank.
Thank you.
Mika, I have met you before.
Mr. Lunsford.
Good afternoon. First of all, Jamaica and Kathy, welcome aboard. I'm John Lunsford. I'm an alumnus of SunTrust Bank, now Truist, and look forward to working with you in the future. I too am a Peninsula native, but from across the border in Hampton, oldest continuous English-speaking settlement in North America.
Okay, thanks. Mr. Knight, even though we can't see your face, we can see your name.
Yeah, I'm George Knight, and I'm a janitorologist from Commonwealth Environmental Services here in Newport News, the great city of Newport News, as I may add. I love this board. I love to welcome you all here, and we're going to have a great time together. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And then I know you haven't met some of the staff. I know you've met me. You've seen Carol, I believe, at the full board meeting, but others of my colleagues, first, Priscilla.
Again, we talked the other day, but I'm Priscilla Green. I'm the Senior Project Coordinator with the Department of Development.
Okay. Kalila.
Good afternoon. I'm Kalila Walker. I'm also a Senior Project Coordinator with the Department of Development, and I administer the FIG program.
And Lindsay.
I'm Lindsay Cutshaw, and I'm the Senior Administrative Assistant for the Department of Development.
Thank you. And I think we have everyone now, so very good. And we would like to officially welcome the 2 new members to the committee. So now moving to the next agenda item, review of the financials for the Newport News Capital Fund. And Jameson will put those up, okay? So looking first at the statement of net assets for the fund, we have uncommitted cash of $542,466, outstanding loan receivables. We have $1,049,994, giving us total assets of $1,592,460, as well as liabilities matching the same. As of right now, we only have 4 open loans since our last meeting. Martin Custom Designs, which is Scotty Signs, has paid off, and we now have the open loans of Bryan Equipment, CCOP Thimble Shoals, Eagle Land 2, Point Hope LLC. As the former members know, Boathouse Live is now written off, so that's why it shows as allowance for doubtful accounts. Any question on that
Would there
statement?
be any chance of recovery of any of that?
Even though we write it off because of accounting purposes, we still, will try to recover.
Okay, thanks, Trish.
Mhm. Any other questions? Okay. Then moving to our revenues and expenses. The revenues for year to date, our fiscal year to date, the $19,086. No expenses for the period. So total ending net assets and income, 792,460. Down bottom, we just show a running total of since the inception of the fund, interest we've earned. And at the very bottom, we show interest earned on investments. That means on the cash not loaned out, what we've earned over the years, which is at 291,568, and then interest earned from direct loans at 568,304, giving us total interest income for the life of the loan fund of 859,873. We don't post the current year until the fiscal year is over, so that's why you don't see a figure for 2021 yet. Any questions on that? Okay. The next sheet. And this actually shows the full history of loans we've done since the inception of the fund. So you see the names to the left and the original amount of the loans. And this is a form that we created years ago because we have to do reporting for this particular loan fund. And so we break out interest for the period paid and principal for the period paid. So that's why the various different columns. But I like this sheet because it does historically show all the loans that have been done in the fund. So any questions at all on that? Okay. With that, I will turn it over to Kalila to share the FIG. Do you want to share your screen? Okay.
I'm getting there, sorry. It was not letting me do what I wanted to do.
Yes. But she should still be able to.
I'm just not seeing my, oh, here it is, okay. Sorry about that. Can everyone see? Okay, so
Yes.
we received one FIG application for April, and the property that applied was 2700 Washington Avenue. It's located on Washington Avenue, which is just a few blocks actually from City Hall. For those who may be familiar with it, it used to be the former Wells Fargo building. They are going to be doing exterior painting. And this is what the building currently looks like. This is the front of the building, which faces Washington Avenue. And this is kind of a view from the side of the building, one of the sides. And this is the rear of the building. This is what they plan to do. In addition to painting, they're going to be including some different materials on the building so that it looks a little more updated. And here's another view for you. This is going to be the front, how they envision that. They're looking at a total project cost of $59,490. and they are in an enterprise zone. So they are requesting the full amount of the FIG, which is $20,000, which gives them about 34% funded through the FIG program. And that's it. Do you have any questions?
Who occupies the building now, Kalila?
They're currently advertising for tenants. They just purchased it last year in December, I believe it is. So they're currently advertising for tenants to come in there. So it's vacant.
That's where I started my banking career.
Oh, wow. Great. So you're very familiar. They're trying to just give it an updated look, and they're kind of open to different things. They mentioned maybe having some like commercial things down, retail things at the bottom, maybe just to kind of open it up to different things.
It's Kathy Williams. Are they looking to more like a co-working space setup, or they're looking to try to attract, small businesses in this space?
Right. They're looking more for small businesses. They did not mention a co-working angle at all. It's going to be just office space that they're primarily looking for.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for Kalila? If not, if we could have a motion, please.
I move to provide funding for the proposed grant as submitted.
I second that motion.
Okay. It's been moved and second to approve the FIG request as presented. Any question? Okay. All in favor? Either aye or thumbs up.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion. Oh, and I'm sorry, Lindsay, you normally call. Why don't you call?
Yeah.
Mr. Knight,
Mr. Knight, you're on mute.
Ms. Owens,
4.
Ms. Harris,
4.
Mr. Lunsford,
4.
Ms. Johnson,
4.
and Ms. Williams.
4.
And Mr.
Very-
Knight, are you able to be off of mute? I can touch base with him.
Okay. So the motion is approved. Thank you very much. I don't have any unfinished business. Do any members have any unfinished business? Okay. Okay, moving to new business. I am going to call on Priscilla. We would like to share a little information about a rollout of a new loan program. Priscilla?
Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
As Trisha said, although you guys and specifically the EDA will not govern this program, we wanted you all to be aware that the City of Newport News did receive funding through the U.S. Economic Development Administration to assist small businesses during the COVID-19 pandemic. The new program is going to capitalize and administer a new RLF called the Peninsula CARES Act Fund. And the fund will primarily be through direct loans to businesses in amounts between $7,500 and $375,000. Some of the allowable uses for these funds you can see here on the flyer that we provided, and they include acquisition and installation of machinery and equipment, working capital to include inventory, facility remediation and cleanup costs, and marketing expenses, just to name a few. Of course, other expenses could be eligible, but that's just a short list of the most common ones we see. The reason this program is so attractive is that the terms of the loan in general, the interest rates are going to be fairly low, between 0 and 2%. And the funding is expected to result in job creation or at least job retention during this, pandemic time. We do have loan terms that are set for fixed assets. Fixed assets loan terms can be no more than 10 years, and the working capital loan terms can be no more than 4 years. Again, another benefit to the program, aside from the 0 to 2% interest, is that for this particular program, 100% of the funds can be used towards working capital, which we are noticing that's where businesses have been impacted the most during the pandemic. So that's going to be a great benefit to the smaller businesses, or to businesses in general. We did begin accepting applications on March 25th. And our staff did work very diligently with our IT department to create an online application for this loan, as well as an internal portal that will allow us to, for document retention, along with tracking applications through the entire process. So it'll be easier for us for reporting purposes, et cetera. And just as an FYI, to date, we've been going strong for about a month now. We received about 3 applications for a total of about $275,000 in request. And our online application shows that there's about 8 to 10 applications sitting there. We don't know if they're going to hit submit, but they're there. So it does show that there's some interest in the program at minimum. We're currently actively reaching out directly to businesses that have either called us previously about financial support during the COVID pandemic. And we've also been contacting businesses just to solicit interest. So that's kind of where you guys come in. We would greatly appreciate if you guys could also promote the program as you deem necessary. So we just are asking that you make businesses aware that the program exists. And after this meeting, I'll send you guys an email with all of the information, the link to the website, which includes the application, the guidelines, et cetera. And also in that email, I'll give you the guidelines, the flyer that you see on the screen here, and then a checklist of all the required documentation.
Very good.
Does anybody have any questions?
I have one question. Are we able to apply for this grant even though we are part of the committee that sits on the board? This is Sharon, I'm sorry.
I don't know. We would probably have to research. My quick answer would be probably not. Just because it's federal money and because of conflict of interest, et cetera. So I would have to research to assure. And mind you, it's not a grant, it is a loan. Even though it's 0 or no interest in deferred payments, it still is a loan.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And just to add, for those of you that have been on this committee for a while and know about the capital fund, it comes from the same US EDA agency, the Department of Commerce. However, it is a different stream, and it's not handled by this committee, even though we wanted you to know about it. And one good thing, they alleviated the requirement for match, because as you know, that has been a lot of our hold up on getting new clients in this fund, because they had to come up with a match. Well, they don't have to on this program. So we would ask, I know it's kind of hard, but we would ask that you steer anybody to this new program temporarily, at least, because it is more advantageous for the business. Carol, would you like
in this fund?
Pardon?
How large is this fund?
We have $1.5 million to, but we do share it with the city of Hampton, so they can bring loans to the fund as well. Carol, would you like to add anything else?
Oh, sorry.
No, I think you all have done a wonderful job of covering it. Again, this is COVID money that we got from under the CARES Act, and so we are very anxious to get it on the street. I'll be more candid than my colleagues. The applications that we have received are typical small business, and that is that they are lacking almost everything they're supposed to submit, and so it's going to be a great deal of hand holding to to work with some of these businesses, as we did when we worked through with our resiliency grants, our back to business grants, our e-commerce grants. So for each application we get, while it's all, you can do it online, we've made it as easy as we possibly can. I will share, we do not get anything like a complete package. In fact, we get very, very limited information. So we are anxious to get this money out. The email that Priscilla acknowledged that she'll be sending to you all is the kind of thing that's forwardable, that you would be able to share with others. We want to make that easy for you. The one thing I can assure you of is that we've got several staff members that are very involved with this program, and anyone that you would refer to us will get kid glove treatment. We are working very diligently to assist businesses, and if they can meet us part of the way by getting us some of the documentation we need, we'll carry them the rest of the way.
Are there any other questions from the committee?
Tricia, John.
Yes.
Is there a minimum or maximum loan amount?
Yes.
You may have mentioned it, I just missed it.
Yes, loans can be between $7,500 up to $375,000.
Thanks, Priscilla.
You're welcome.
Outside of direct phone calls, is there any other method being used to push this information out?
Yes, absolutely. Immediately upon the program being available, we did a constant contact blast, which Carol, I don't know what number that actually reaches, but if I'm not mistaken, well over 3,000 people.
Yep.
People received that email. We've also posted it on our social media sites, our websites, the city's webpage. So we've had some marketing outreach. We've also sent it to the CNI email blast group, things of that nature.
It was also mentioned in the city's daily newsletter that goes out, which has a outreach of over 70,000 people. And there was a featured article in the Daily Press about it as well.
Great, thank you.
But we're welcome, and we're open to accepting any ideas that you may have.
Now, Priscilla, one more thing, every single person that received a grant from us or even applied for a grant from us during the COVID times received a special outreach from us as well about this program.
That is correct, yes.
Yep.
Any more questions? Okay, and if you think of any, or after Priscilla sends the email, of course, feel free to either call Priscilla or myself, and we'll be happy to answer anything. I don't have any other business to come before the committee. Does anyone else have anything?
No, ma'am.
Okay, if not, then this meeting stands adjourned.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day. Have a good day.
Thank you.